Hello and welcome to a very strange crossover presentation of 3DMM, sponsored by MovieBoozer.com. A long time ago, back in 2005, I was in a movie, a full-length movie called Moderately Confused, directed by my buddy James Quicksell here. And if you don't know what 3DMM is, just Google it, because for us to explain what it was and how it became, like that whole, there's a whole story behind it, and you're going to have to look that up on your own. But what do you want to see? What, do you have anything to say about the film before we actually get into watching it and talking about it?
This is actually a sequel to a movie that I directed back in early 2003. It's kind of when I first got back into like 3MM, and it was kind of a short movie. There's a lot of like pretty terrible jokes and everything, but it was kind of like my first like attempt at making a real movie, and it was about 20 minutes or so, and after that, I mean, it was kind of like a moderate hit. I mean, it took me a week to make it, and I was kind of like excited to make it, and then when it came out, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, this is great," and then I started getting the ideas for Moderately Confused. And it just kind of grew from there, and then I got all the voice actors that were doing 3D movies on like they were like kind of big, and it just kind of grew to the point where like, okay, I have these actors and I have this cool like idea, and then it just kind of grew from there, and it was supposed to be kind of a small sequel, and then it ended up being a very large sequel, and I think it worked out great. I mean,
With the exception of a few projects, save for
yeah,
Aaron Haynes' Valerian Swan Song and the McZ documentary, I would say this is one of the finest, most honed 3DMM movies that we have now that it's pretty much over and done with.
no, I appreciate that.
I mean, I've always said that. Even when it came out, I've always said that about the movie. That like it's as far as especially with the comedies, like it's up there with Sergeant Steve and I mean,
Yeah,
when I think of 3DMM comedies, personally, I think of probably more obscure ones like Two Stupid Jerks.
I didn't watch too much of those, but yeah, definitely it was trying to like actually with the help of like Aaron Haynes. Now that you mentioned him, he took the script and he took a lot of the ideas and he helped like make the movie kind of what it is. Like he would watch it, he would cut out things and say, okay, this doesn't work. This
I
doesn't work.
remember you telling me as this was in development, you would always tell me like Aaron Haynes was doing a lot of work for this, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just. I mean, there was a lot of people working on this that really kind of helped shape it into what it became ultimately.
Yeah, that is great. He would like say, "Okay, man, this doesn't work. This does work," and this joke's good, or it goes on for too long, and or like he would help me like craft scenes. Like he didn't do, he did. I think he did a couple of like guest animations, like a scene in the end with the museum exploding. He was like the guest. He was the guest animator on that and kind of stuff. But yeah, he was definitely an integral part of the movie, and it kind of helped me grow while I was making this, and definitely towards the end.
Mhm.
So and he even edited like the trailer and everything. So yeah, I definitely got him to thank for a lot of this.
Mhm. Yeah, and I see that influence. Aaron was definitely one of those guys that influenced a lot of us to take a more cinematic approach to what we were doing back then. Because he would even give me pep talks back in the day, just about like what's the motivation, or just questions that you don't really think about so much because we were teenagers. Like we didn't have film school experience, and like we were all just kind of fanboys at the time. So
Yeah, essentially. I mean, like, especially like making the movie, like it was just. I was just like, oh, wait, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, this would be neat, or like do this or do that, or like, and like actually, there's an entire script that him and I wrote, Wholly Confused, which is the sequel to this movie, to kind of make out like a trilogy of sorts,
Mhm.
and
And there was going to be a Christmas special, right?
There was going to be a Christmas special. I worked on it a little bit, but I couldn't really. The thing is, I was making that on the fly, so I didn't really have like a start and an end point. So it started like, oh, this is going to be a great start, and then like I didn't really have like an end goal, so it kind of like fizzled out a little bit. I know you voice acted a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember doing a few lines for the Christmas special. So
yeah, and it was kind of funny the certain parts I had, but I didn't really have an ending, so it kind of. Yeah, it just fizzled out a little bit, unfortunately. And I'm a little bummed that I never have to make Wholly Confused, and obviously now in like this day and age it would be very pointless. But it was gonna be like one of like I don't know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was gonna be like there were some scenes in there. It was gonna be one of like the best from this program if you know.
Well, yeah. With that said, the copy of the movie we're gonna watch is on YouTube. If you just search "Moderately Confused," it should be one of the first ones that comes up. It's a very long video. Probably what is it? Let me see if I can.
Yeah, it's about an hour. It's just hour and 20. If it's about an hour and a half actually.
And it's uploaded by SuperCat99, who has been uploading tons and tons of 3DMM movies, like pretty much daily for a really long time now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Serious props to that guy. But yeah, let's begin the movie. Do you have the app pulled up and everything?
Yep.
Okay, when I press play, it's gonna mute your microphone. The little microphone icon at the top, just click on that and unmute yourself.
Oh, all right.
All right, and I am pressing play in 3, 2, 1, go. Now I have a pair of fucking headphones around here. There it is. And that was Jeff Ching's production company, wasn't it?
Yes.
How did Jeff Ching get production company credit on this?
Well, it was kind of weird. It was me, him. God, I'm trying to remember who else was on there, but he. I think it was a little bit after Slightly Confused. He contacted me and said, "Hey, do you want to join this? Like, your movie's kind of funny. Like, do you want to join this like group of like comedy producers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's good." I think Jeremy Dick was in there too, and I can't remember the other person who was in there, but yeah, he just sent me. He's like, send me a message. Do you want to be a part of this? And we did release a few movies, probably not as much as we wanted to, but I'm trying to think who else, what other movies were a part of it. But yeah, it was kind of strange because that was at the time where like the production companies or like the groups were like a big deal on 3dmm.com. They're like, oh, you gotta have like your production companies to be in there, even though it's. It's kind of pointless, like when you really think about it. But yeah,
well, when I had come into the community, that wasn't really a thing. It was just like make your own logo and do your own thing. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much a collaborative thing but I didn't come in until like 2004.
Yeah, I mean, it was like there was a little bit of help. It wasn't like a true production company where like you would help. You would really help each other out and like all do this, but like but obviously Ching was very available to do voices and stuff. Like I think he does it in this movie, obviously.
He does have the scene with the Adam Sandler character. I do remember that, Mike.
Yes, Mike was good.
Oh Christ! Listen, Normandy is about 3,000 miles and 60 years that way. There's no Nazis around here.
I'm just wondering, man. These jokes would be so dated, but it'll be good to laugh at.
Oh yeah. I still think for the most part this holds up, just because maybe it's just a bias for me because I was involved in it, but this is charming to me. And there's still many jokes that I look back at and I'm super fond of, which I'll point them out as we come to them, but.
All right. Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I am still proud of, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's stuff I could do better, like when I watched it. Of course, I've also seen this movie, like, also the throwback to Slightly Confused.
Oh, yeah. Whistling us.
At the very end of the movie. Yeah, this is when I was like big into like the Ocean's 11, like kind of like you like sorry, I was gonna say Usual Suspects. That was the whole premise behind Wholly Confused, which I'm a little bummed never came out because
Yeah, I didn't know that there was a big Usual Suspects influence on that script. So
it was actually if you're interested, I was gonna release a copy.
now I have a question. What was the font that you used here? Because when I
It was,
downloaded
I
it,
believe
it
was
always
the Broadway, yeah, I believe it was the Broadway font. It's the one in the very
Okay.
beginning where like it said to cache these fonts, and it's weird because it shows up there, but it doesn't show up here.
yeah, and it never showed up on the copies I downloaded.
Yeah, oh, actually, it shows up there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really weird.
So, yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's super weird. Here comes a scene that I parodied in 3DMM Evil, which
Yep.
I forget what was written on the back of the chair, but something was written on the back of the chair. Oh, something moderately ripped off.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
it was something like that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so this is one of the many characters that I think James Bergen did the voice acting for the Warden. Like I pulled in so many different voice actors that like they did so many little parts.
Mm-hmm. But I think it ultimately works really well because a lot of 3DMM movies will just have the same set of people doing every character. But with Moderately Confused, you do get a good variety of different people.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the few movies outside of my own work that I was in. So, like, I think the only other major one was the story of Kalaios, and
I was in that too for like a couple scenes.
yeah, I had like 2 lines, but I got an opening credit, and I was like, why do I have an opening credit? I did like 2 lines for this.
But that was going to be like a huge thing too. And I mean, they made the episode. Well, it was kind of like game show. Even though game show is its own thing, but there was a sequel that was supposed to be kind of like incredible, and it went through, but never actually got made, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So this
Maybe-
is a possible banning song.
Yeah, maybe it was Staying Alive that got it.
Oh, maybe it was Staying Alive, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of the little intricacies in the background that I really like to make, because like a lot of times there's like stuff going on in the front, where there's another scene later on in the movie that I actually just thought about the other day. That
I love this kindergarten cop quote. That still makes me laugh to this day. Better than watching my husband trying to please me.
like I wish more people were that honest in their movie like quotes.
Now, I gotta say, over the years, I have always loved you as this police chief, and as his assistant.
Yeah, Joe and Oliver were great. Actually, I was going to do a spinoff called Below Average Joe, which it was like literally just him and Oliver, and Joe is just this completely incompetent, police chief. But unfortunately, that never materialized either. But kind of like the Christmas special.
Mhm.
So like I had a few things written down, but it never actually kind of came to fruition.
Guys, can we stop for a second?
Oh yeah.
I think I also voiced that.
What is it, Joe? You know that guy we killed yesterday? Well, yeah, he just escaped. No way.
Oh no!
Oh, they cut off the rat. Did you cut off the rat, or did they? Cut
I
off?
did. I did cut off the rat.
Okay. For those who don't know, one of the default lines in 3DMM is, "Oh no, a rat!"
But if we clean up their bed, maybe this
And
will go easier.
Brenda pretty much only does default lines. That's like her thing,
Yeah.
or that's the only thing that her brain is programmed to remember.
Alrighty then, Oliver, Brenda, let's get our asses in gear.
A lot of people probably, I don't know if they gave you shit necessarily for that, but I always got a kick out of Brenda's random default lines.
She has her moments. Yeah.
Hooker Street.
She's pretty much just she's pretty much just like Brenda's pretty much just like a prop.
And then here comes one of the few carryovers from Slightly Confused.
Oh, incredibly racist too.
Incredibly
Actually,
racist.
All right, fun. That's John Barton, by the way. And very, very weird thing about this. One time I actually played this in my college. Actually, I think it's one of Robert Domke's songs that he posted on 3DMM. So I posted it as like this German, or I put it in the movie as like a German thing. But anyway, this scene was kind of awkward because I actually played this in the lobby of my dorm when I was a freshman, because we had a bunch of friends and they would always you could play movies and whatever. They just had an entertainment center you could set up and put as you can hook your computer up and hook video and sound and everything up to. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started playing this movie, and I had a bunch of friends watching it, and of course there's this fucking taxi driver who's supposed to be this Indian Pakistani kind of guy, and there was an Indian Pakistani guy who was the card reader who was in the lobby too, and I think he calls him a sand nigger at some point, which is a terrible thing.
Yes, we were teenagers.
I
People
felt awful. It was so awkward, and I was thinking what the hell was I thinking?
I gotta say, I think Jason Ruiz pulled the line off better.
Yeah, no, that definitely did, and it was one of those things because those things I didn't really think. I just wanted to show my friends okay, cool, I made this movie. You guys want to watch it? Yeah, okay, whatever. And then I was like,
that's part of the process,
or something like that. Too, it's just it was really I don't know. At this point, in retrospect, it was come on, man, what was I thinking?
That's definitely a moment where the bank robber doesn't come off as a very likable character.
I mean, yeah, he's not supposed to. He's sort of likable, but
I think well, the thing is, I've always seen a little tiny bit of you in the bank robber.
Yeah, he's just.
I'm not saying you're not gonna call anyone a sand nigger, but there's a tiny little bit of your personality in there, but he is kind of that. I do love the sort of Mel Brooks-esque-ness of him just being called the bank robber and having no other name.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is, he does have a name, and I can't remember if it was mentioned here or in Wholly Confused, because we did come up for a name for him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just one of those things where he was best as the bank robber.
Yeah. There's just something really absurdist about him having that title.
Yeah. I voiced way too many actors in this movie. But I think I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, you do. You do all right. And the thing, like you said, you had a lot of different people doing little roles that, if you hadn't had them, you probably would have been doing yourself. So there is variety to the voice acting. Oh, I love this flashback sequence. The weed shop, Pepe's Weed Shop.
Yeah, look at that fro.
Handmade character couldn't have done it better himself.
Wow.
This is one of my favorite lines in the whole movie. How do you fuck up a flashback?
For as many of the jokes I think that don't work, there are some that work amazing.
Oh yeah, I agree. Particularly at the donut shop later on.
Yeah.
That whole scene fucking cracks me up. Oh, and I love how the dice just kind of fall off the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
There's something living in the 8-track player.
Yeah.
Now, with this, did you just open up the same scene and alter the seats and stuff?
I can't remember, but I think that was the case. I just copied it over. It was like, all right, color change. Here it goes.
Well, I think that's kind of the beauty of 3DMM, especially with parody, and that's why I got away with so much when I was doing my show, is that like you can just open up someone else's work and change it around a little bit and call it parody.
Yeah.
But it works in cases like this, where it's like you have a car and then you want to show it years later beat up, like you can just
Yeah, you can just like go in there and it's like just edit it.
That is, I think that is a very beneficial aspect of the program to a certain extent. I mean, I'm sure you can do that with regular animation now too. It's astounding how many of our peers have actually gone into animation and filmmaking now.
Yeah, seriously, especially, well, you think, like Jason Rue is, obviously. I mean, it's unfortunate that some of his comedy didn't translate to, like Fox and them. I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah,
but
I do
unfortunately,
too.
it's the control that they get when he starts to make it. Like, it's not like 3MM where, like, this is all me. Or, like, it's very, like, rare that you can do that. But, also, Peter Atencio as well. I mean, holy shit. I mean, look at him. Like, Key and Peele is huge.
Yeah. Well, actually, he's left that show now. I don't know if the show itself is actually over, but he had posted on Facebook a little while ago that he had actually filmed his last Key and Peele show.
Oh shit! No, I didn't even see that.
I don't know if they're gonna continue without him. From what I hear, Key and Peele have been working up to a movie, which I'd love to see Atencio direct.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll see what happens. You know, because
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, they've done incredible work together. So it's not really it's a no-brainer for them to keep working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What even, Bob? I can't even see a motive in this.
Now you got the Dark Side of the Moon on the wall
Yes,
there.
I do. Yeah, that was about the time where, actually, speaking of Aaron Haynes before, he was introducing me to a lot of music, and Dark Side of the Moon was like one of those. It was like weird because like my dad had all these CDs, and he's like, yeah, that or like The Who and everything, and I went down. I was looking, and I started getting into a lot of that music at that time, and suddenly I was like, oh, cool. Then this is simple enough to make, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw it right in there.
Actually, this guy's responsible for a lot of my music taste because you definitely pushed me more into Floyd and the Who as a teenager.
Yes.
So,
But especially The Who. I do remember that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I always think about every once in a while, like what starts me into certain types of music because it kind of shaped the whole where I've expanded from. So. At that point, it was kind of very basic music. I can't even remember at that point what I was listening to before then. But then, I had people like Haynes saying "Hey, you got to check this out," and I was like, "Oh yeah, my dad has that," and I started listening to it, and that's kind of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so maybe this was the song that caused the video to be taken off YouTube.
It could have been. I don't know how he got it back up, but it's amazing that it's back up.
Probably because it didn't have that many views.
I don't know. I don't know if that's it or not.
I don't think anyone was actually going to watch this just to play that funky music, White Boy.
Yeah,
especially
I do.
With all the voices in the background. Actually, that makes me think: what if somebody from Google was actually just sitting there watching this, their job was to go and watch this and say, okay, all right, is this enough music? Consider canceling it, or actually maybe say and watch for the whole movie. I don't know.
It's clearly just background music, and yeah, maybe that's how it.
Yeah, because no one's gonna steal this for a ringtone. Unless they want to hear Jamal's sweet lines in there, played by Jeremy Dick. That was the other thing about hardcore entertainment, was I had like voice acting by Jeremy Dick, and I think like I said, I think Ching was in here as well. I can't remember. It's so bad I don't remember this, but it's been so long since I've seen this.
I know for a fact he's in the hardware store scene.
Yes, that is it.
I don't know if he's anywhere else in the movie, but I know he's in the hardware store scene.
No problem, dog. I always look to make some extra cash.
Just slow ass moving plane in the background. That
Now-
plane is moving, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I see it. I've always noticed that the plane was moving. Let me just say, like, Jeremy Dick is oddly.
Here you go.
Here I am.
Here
Yeah.
you go. This is your introduction scene.
For those who don't know, I used to go by the alias Clayman on 3DMM, so that's what I'm credited with in this movie. I don't think I told you to put my real name in there, but
No. It's always been Clayman.
on with my movie reviews and stuff on my podcast, I just go by my real name now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is my squeaky voiced ass.
Sure.
Well, didn't you modify your voice? Like you did it and then you raised the pitch?
I did, yeah. I think, but when I was doing the lines, it was in a very cartoony way anyway. Like it was probably, like Shady, what's up? Like it was probably like that.
Yeah, but like if you look at the character, it makes complete sense. It's like he's got he's almost like swallowed helium. Like he's got that kind of a thing going on. Oh yeah, he also has Tourette's.
This was a lot of fun to do.
But I'd lose my...
I remember though, I had to do all these lines when no one was home because it required me yelling out curse words. That is something I will never forget, is specifically having to wait until no one was home to record these lines. But actually, now is probably a good time to talk about how we got it interactive with each other through 3DM, which is... I was just kind of looking for people to interview and collaborate with because I was doing the show 3DM Evil at the time, and I think I sent you a sketch where I was doing Rams of Brave at a very high pitch, and you were very it's randomly seeming to me, because I didn't know you were like looking for someone for this character at the time. You were like, hey, you could probably do this character at that. Because the Rams of Brave voice I was doing for that episode was at a higher pitch than my regular voice. And pretty much from there, like we started talking a lot, and we became really tight and good friends.
Yeah.
Just through bullshitting. And that's how I got involved in Moderately Confused.
Actually, I think, didn't we do an interview for Moderately Confused in one of your episodes? Like, before
we
it came
did
out?
No. It was actually after it came out, because a lot of that interview is just sort of about how you were dealing with the post-release of it.
Oh, that's right. Because you were actually like, what's going on next, all that kind of stuff.
I was, but at the same time, I was also asking about, because this movie... it seemed like polarizing when this came out. Because there was a lot of hype behind it, so I think people were either sold on the hype or let down by the hype, and it seemed to be a very polarizing flick when it came out, actually, because people seemed to either love it or hate it. So I was asking you about that kind of stuff. I was asking you about a few other projects of yours at the time that never actually got completed.
I think I mentioned the Stand, which was the...
Stand and Perspective. The other one was Perspectives, I think I was asking you about.
That was with Aaron Haynes, actually. We were doing... it was actually it's kind of a cool concept. It was it was like back and forth between me and him, with this one individual who kind of lived between a real world and a dream world. And we would kind of... like, we would picture him in scenarios, and then, like, when the other director took over, he took it into like a dreamscape kind of thing. So, like, I would handle all the real-life stuff, and then Haynes would take it and warp it into some, like, really fantastical dream, and then the second that I took back over, it was, like, snap back to reality kind of thing. It was kind of a cool concept.
That sounds fascinating, because, that's kind of...
Yeah,
I
because
can
he's like this like day-to-day life kind of guy. He has like kind of a shitty job and do whatever. And
Mhm.
also, all right, what the first time I did Kodak, I wasn't sure how this was going to get voiced, and then Dustin Guest actually decided to audition for a few roles, and he did. I loved him as Kodak for one of the test lines that he had, and then for some reason, like I sent him all the lines, I'm like, dude, you're fucking awesome. There was one morning before school, I remember, that he sent me a zip file with all of his lines. I started going through them one by one, and I was like, oh my fucking god, this is the best like thing I could have ever hoped for like the character. And obviously, just the way the character is, the way he acts, and the way he's voiced, it meshed perfectly.
Yes, it does. It does.
So yeah, I could definitely see like this is like a not like a make or break. This like one of the things that really made the movie.
I don't know what this song is called, but fucking kudos because it works so well for Martin's
the
intro
Mood.
here.
It's
Yeah.
In the Mood.
In
by
the Mood,
Glenn
yeah.
Miller.
Glenn Miller. Shout out to AppFigure. AppFigure introduced me to Glenn Miller with "Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree" from AppFigure's very own magazine.
Nice.
I see you at 8. Good to see you too, Martin.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick break, but keep it rolling.
Keep going, yeah. We'll probably tag team because I got to take a piss myself. But yeah, voicing Martin here is Jaymond. I don't know Jaymond's real name, but he's always done fantastic work, voice work throughout 3DMM. He was in Satanic. He did his own movie, Schizophrenia. He did the 3DMM House Party. Big shout out to Jaymond. And I think his work as Martin here is super subtle, in a way. And a lot of people gave James shit for making it a narcoleptic character, but I think ultimately it works out. I think, like I said, Jaymond, there's a subtlety to what he's doing with the voice acting there, and he's charming. He's a charming voice actor. That's really the point I'm getting at. Is that, and I don't mean to sound like I'm just sucking the dick of the people that worked on this, but we knew that Orcus wanted the best out of us, or at least I did when I did my lines. We all tried very hard to do our best, as far as I know. And here's Orcus voicing James voicing Jamal. James, when you voice Jamal, it's so obvious that it's you voicing Jamal.
Well, the funny thing about that is that is actually like Aaron Haynes' he said that is his favorite line in the whole movie.
It does. It cracks me up when I hear it because I know it's you.
Well, no, like actually when Shady opens the fridge.
I don't even know, but fuck that joke. I don't even know what you say, but it's like, "What's your Russell brother for?" And I don't know what the words to that are, but it sounds like, "What's your Russell brother for?"
Oh, is this this is the donut shop one you were talking about?
Yeah, this is about to be the donut shop scene, and I have to take a fucking major piss, but I'll wait till after the donut shop scene. Dunkin' Donuts with a C and an A.
Like,
I still make
Oliver
that
is
joke.
very perceptive to the fact that there's another Dunkin' Donuts.
No, not Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, that cracks me up.
There was a whole Chinese food ordering scene too that like never made it to film.
Oh, really?
Like we were working on it, and it's actually in one of my original drafts, and it was kind of like it was pretty stupid, but like I think Haynes said that he really liked it, and I never got a chance to like put it together.
I never recorded lines for that, so I'm gonna assume that was cut by the time I got to the script. While you were gone, I was talking about. I think there's a real subtlety to the performance Jaymond gives to Martin here.
he did. I mean, Jamin's a phenomenal voice actor.
Yeah,
So all that kind of subtlety really worked. Like he got the character. I told him like, listen, we have a narcoleptic guy. Like this is what you need to do, and he kind of ran with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was brilliant in that role. If you want pitch perfect example of Jamin's voice acting, check out 3DMM House Party because that is just a fantastic.
that is great.
There's tons of inside jokes that if you're not into 3DMM you probably won't get, but Jamin is doing like so much voice acting in that little short.
Yeah, I mean, even his little like blurbs that he did, like little sound clips and stuff. I still have a lot of that stuff saved, and it's always phenomenal to listen to him. Even like his fake rap groups, like those are great.
Oh yeah.
like what was it? WCEC is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Blinguistics is awesome. Just all the kind of stuff that he does is just phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
That is why we have coded. Once we have a port in the security computer under our control, he'll be able to disable the lasers and the alarms. Since everything is on one computer, it should be pretty easy. Not a computer is.
A compact.
Won't worry about hacking one of those. It'll probably just crash by itself.
So actually, some of Dustin's lines were actually completely ad-libbed, and it came out phenomenal. Like the part about the Dell computer that's a little bit later on with the troubleshooting, that was all him. Like when I saw his file and I was going through all the lines for the scenes, I was in shock. I'm like, this is amazing. Like he took the character and the lines and then just made them all his own. Like that was one of the things I was wholly confused. That is poetry, by the way. But that was just one of the things when we were doing Wholly Confused. I was like, I wanted to bring the whole cast back, but I wasn't sure who would be on board. And at that time, Jamin had kind of disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, like I was like, who we got to play with? And with Kodak, I was kind of hoping that he would be back. And then, I mean, Dustin's still around. He would probably do it. But yeah, it was definitely tough to kind of get the kind of the feel of like, okay, if I made this movie, who would be around to actually do the voice acting and all that kind of stuff.
Right. I remember you kept in contact with me about it, and I'd always told you like I'm
yeah, because at that point. All right, let's.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go take a piss after this, but I love this scene. And that's Beast as the DD guy, right?
Yes.
Shout out to Beast.
Beast.
I first got introduced to Beast through the animation tournaments.
Well, you know, sir. Listen, why would you even ask that? I thought this was a donut shop, not a liquid sprinkles and random shit.
You tell him, Joe.
Oh, I love that line, dude. Let's put a random sprinkles in random shit shop. Big ass warehouse. Oh yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
We don't really have a lot to go over actually, so our session here should be fairly short.
Will I get to drive at all?
Maybe.
Do I have today? Come on, bitches today?
Guys, calm down. We need to take care of things one at a time here. First thing we're going to do is set up a dummy computer network in which Codex is going to run a program to try and block our little security system. After that is done.
All right, so this is probably one of the longest running scenes in the movie. It was one of the things that I definitely would have cut down, because I usually like to break the movie into two parts. There's a certain part before the heist and a certain part after the heist. Before the heist was kind of when I was first working on the movie, and we had a whole bunch of scenes. We were trying to get everything established. And, like, this scene in particular, I don't know if the end point is really, like, kind of worth the payoff as far as how much time is, like, kind of wasted explaining it.
Make sure there's no possible way for your narcotics to kick in. You got that? No possible way. Now, I'm sure you're aware
Now, obviously, you
of
probably,
all that stuff.
if you're watching this without commentary, you kind of get the joke beforehand. And it was one of those things like, okay, we kind of had to make it happen. He's a narcoleptic and all that kind of stuff. But I think it just went on a little bit too long. And unfortunately, yeah, it just kind of like lingered on a little bit too long for my liking.
I mean, I don't think you could have helped that kind of thing in this movie.
Well, no, it's like, yeah, like I was trying to explain before. I mean, there's a lot of like, I guess the best way to explain it, there's a lot of tighter editing in the first half of the movie than there was in the second half. I think even Gorosaurus mentioned that in his review, where the second half was much tighter than the first half, like in terms of like time and everything. And the second half does take like a much less amount of time, but it's like gets a lot of good information, is much more like action-packed than the other one.
Well, I will say, I think the pace of the jokes in the first half, despite the fact that every joke doesn't hit, there's still a very fast pace to the jokes where it's like, okay,
yeah,
that one
it
didn't.
doesn't linger too long. No,
Yeah.
it's really good. And
You
I
have a
think
real
the
good.
whole-
There's a real good sense of pacing comedically throughout the first half.
Yeah, that's one of the lines that, like Justin.
You'll get his name.
Yeah, that's one of the lines that he improvised. When I had the whole line, it was like, hey, like troubleshooting or whatever. Like, and he like did that whole laughing thing and waited. Like the guy obviously he read the script that we gave him and understood the situation and like actually played to it, and it was phenomenal. When I got the voice clips, and I was like, holy shit! This is exactly what I'm looking for. So
If we ever have some kind of 3DMM convention or reunion, I want to get a fishbone tie to wear. You got to get a shirt with McZ on it.
Oh yeah, I got the little patch right here.
Hey, Jamal, you come with me and Shady.
This is where they steal the ambulance, right?
I think it's the next scene.
Oh, the hardware store scene. Okay. Yeah, I like Mike.
Yep. This is where Jeff Ching comes in.
Yeah, Jeff Chang and Mike. I like this scene. He's trying to fire him, basically.
Yeah.
I looked at my asshole in the mirror today. It blew my fucking mind.
I still think this shit's funny, but the thing is like, I was familiar with the buffoon sketches beforehand, but I never really listened to them that often. So, like, getting those quotes here and in Sergeant Steve and stuff, like, those shits tickled me to death, basically, because, like, I listened to those buffoon sketches on the Adam Sandler albums, like, once or twice.
Oh, yeah, like, when I was a kid, that was, like, the funniest shit. When I was, like, oh, God, back in the late 90s when my friend's brother, like, my friend had the brother who, like, got all the shit that you're not supposed to listen to. So we would listen to that, and I was like, oh, my God, this is hysterical. And then I saw it in Sergeant Steve, and I was like, ah. And then I kind of aped it a little bit, but I wanted to, like, not use the same lines.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you do. You don't use the same lines at all.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the whole point, is that, like, I wanted to still use that character. But
I like that you took it a step further and in a way tried to personify him, just at the very least by giving him a name.
Yeah, and then it was also too in the if you remember there was actually a there I actually did release a teaser for Wholly Confused and he was in it.
Hmm.
It was him and Brenda. Yeah, that was the whole point of the teaser.
I don't think I've seen that teaser. I want to see that now.
All right, we'll have to check it out later. But yeah, it was a little mini teaser for that. Like it had nothing to do with the movie. It was just like I want to release something.
She's my dog. She's my lover.
Who's that? Who's doing those lines?
We interrupt
I
the
don't know.
program to bring you a breaking news bulletin.
John Barton must do all news anchors.
Yes.
That's a unspoken rule.
Let's just escape from state prison.
Yep. If just there was a little Easter egg, I guess, to the bank robber's real name.
Stan R.
Yep.
So, does the film you're working on, Stan, have anything to do with?
No, actually, it was completely different.
Okay.
It was I don't know.
Fucking murderer, you fucking moron.
I don't know. It was like it was like an abortion type movie, like they with stem cells and all kinds of stuff. It was like a weird political statement kind of thing, but it was I don't know. I never really got too far into it. It was more supposed to be like an artistic, like creative thing.
Mhm.
So I never got too far into it.
Oh, I love this Tiddlywinks joke, and I don't even know how Tiddlywinks works.
I don't think anyone knows how Tiddlywinks work. Do you know how? Like, I mean, seriously, who's played Tiddlywinks and be like, yeah, I know how this shit works. Who's trying to flick little things into like a cup? Like, seriously, who knows how Tiddlywinks works?
It's like beer quarters, but without the beer.
Yeah, I mean, even quarters has a little bit more skill. 'Cause you're like, yo, I can throw it. No, this is like, I'm just gonna like touch the edge and hopefully it'll be okay.
That was a joke that to this day like fucking tickles me. Like that's a joke. The joke where he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "I'm playing Tiddlywinks." Like that
Yeah,
shit
like
backs me up. Like
why would you question what I'm doing? Like like I'm playing Tiddlywinks. Like if you walked into some like a room and someone was playing Tiddlywinks. What?
oh yeah, that's funny as shit. And blue-haired man just working at the hospital. Got AIDS?
Got AIDS.
Fuck, I don't know. So there is a joke in here somewhere about how the black guy's got to break into the car.
And it was unlocked the whole time, yeah.
Yeah.
Shady's place can't hide it, looks like we're gonna make Kodak's place HQ.
Yep, Kodak is being volunteered for fucking illegal business.
Yeah, that little scene was just exposition.
Sitting over at Kodak.
Tyson.
Bones.
Bonesaw is ready.
Oh yes, the whole party.
I've brought this up. I reviewed this movie in like 2009 or 2010, somewhere in there, or rather re-reviewed it because I did review it when it came out in like 2005.
Yeah.
But my main complaint when I re-reviewed it is Super Chicken Girl, and I don't mean to just sit here and harp on a single person, but like as far as the voice acting goes, like that sort of is the weak link. Is
Well, the thing is that like I think I needed a girl to act it,
yeah.
and she was the only one available, and I was like, all right, let's just do it.
There is something so monotone about how she voices all the lines in this movie, where it's like, "Oh, I'll give you my number." Oh,
Well, especially because she gives her number away like immediately.
on that large slip of paper.
Dude, I mean, come on. Why wouldn't you have a printer that like prints that large, or have that in your pocket? Like, yo, here you go. It's a full fucking like 1x17 sheet of paper. Like, yo, here's my phone number. No zip code. Just here you go. Or the curator of the museum just trust this man.
I'm not going to harp on it a lot right now, but the final appearance of Super Chicken Girl's character, I think that's like the worst of the worst. Where she has that. I forget. She gets hit by a car, but right before she gets hit by a truck, it's a truck. Right before she gets hit by a bus, she's like, ha 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 ha.
Well, then I did repeat it, so that might have been me. I don't know if that's what it is, but yeah, it's just kind of like.
It wasn't great to begin with, so I mean the loop doesn't help, but I mean it would have been more believable. It was a more believable laugh.
Yo, man, this fucking rocks. Go on a hike.
Yeah.
However, this shit is funny to me. This is funny to me
They're
because
just having a party beforehand, like it all happened.
her lame voice acting adds to this scene rather than detracts from it. I forget what I could. I don't know what my line was there, but it was like I could have been killed.
Hey, I'ma show you how we get down in the jungle.
Jeremy Dick. Jeremy Dick.
Y'all are like that.
Jeremy Dick.
So, handsome. Oh, I can call you that, can't I? What brings you around these parts?
You drove me here.
Oh, you did? Oh man, I'm awesome! Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, this could have been written better had I had a few more years' experience of, being drunk at parties.
Like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember something. I don't know what it is.
I'm the creator of the museum.
Again, yeah, almost everyone involved in the making of this was a teenager at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's funny, because tomorrow we're all going to the museum for that.
I mean, despite the fact that this stuff doesn't work as well, I think it's still impressive. Just be like, in a sense, yeah, we were young and ambitious, and I think I said this while you were away, was that everybody involved, I feel like, kind of put the best foot forward that they could.
Well, at that time, yes, because that was like the heyday where like that period, that 2003 to like 2006 period, like people were, like everybody was like, this is the shit. So, like, anyone needs help with this, or like, all that kind of stuff, like voice acting, like what you name it. It's like that's the way that it was.
It makes me pine for those days in a sense, where it's everybody.
Yeah, it is kind of nice, like a nostalgic kind of creative period.
It really was.
Knock your ass up, you.
Let me rephrase that. Even if what you weren't doing wasn't that interesting, you probably had a friend that was doing something that was like really fucking. In my case, it was you. I really admired what you were doing with this film, and just to be involved with it, I think, sort of put my name on the map a little bit more. Probably gave me more credibility than I deserved at the time.
Yeah, but when you think about it, you were the perfect role for like Calvin to go do that, and to come out in like a movie like this, it was great.
It was, yeah. I think it definitely drew some attention to my show. I don't know if Aaron Haynes would have watched my show if it wasn't for my acting in this movie. I was considered for the lead role in Pamela at one point, and then I got pushed off that. And
well, I mean, John Barton did a good job.
Oh yeah, for sure. John Barton, Liquid Sunshine, I still go back to this day.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Oh my god.
As well as this film, yeah. There's Now, especially since Supercat started making this stuff available on YouTube, like I'll go back to certain 3DMM things and just
Oh, here we go. Hold on. This is where Brenda's used as a prop.
Alright, guys, let's get to it.
This scene was a little long too when they were. Yeah, this is a really weird reference that's coming up.
Oh, this is Cisco.
No, nope.
Lou Bega?
Holy crap.
I called him Cisco. Yeah, Lou Bega. That's what I meant to say.
Lou Bega.
Oh, I love how you got the mustache on there. He just looks like some Ecuadorian person.
Clever than I
Yeah, pretty much.
or clever. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to, Lieutenant. But sir, I thought... See these stripes? You see them? Yes. Well, I have absolutely no idea what the fuck they stand for, but since I have more than you, whatever I say goes.
Yeah, you tell him, Joe.
Well, lucky. What?
This shit is funny. Despite what you say, this shit still makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know, that sounded more like a butt rape authorized lout. Don't look at me, I'm not the one who said it.
Mic cut out. Nice.
Little material. I've had kelp bees once, actually. Really? What? Well, not bad. A little salty, but covered maple syrup. Ooh, man, that goes down like candy. Sounds interesting. I'll have to try it. Watch your language now. We're city cops. Don't make me beat you.
Oh God, the context that that has now. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Brenda. The
Yeah, but he just died of leukemia. Leukemia. Oh, you sure? Oh, God, that was good.
Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Good. All I want to say,
I still think it's funny. It's just so out of left field that
Yeah.
I think it still works.
I just want to say how grateful I am we could all work together and be here tonight.
And this is a good spoof of like those,
There's
you know,
Yeah.
unifying speeches.
stealing.
Yeah, because they're going back and forth between him and the cops.
Work hard.
And Brenda's got the bandage on her head, obviously.
We just like them. Let no one stop us, or even think of stopping us. We are invincible. We will succeed.
Alright, I'll let you take the reins for this.
We are not invincible. We will prevent them from succeeding. Tomorrow I'm about to prove to Joe that he cannot catch me this time, for he's a dickless son of a bitch who likes to sodomize cats. Whatever he says about my sexuality is absolutely not true.
This is fucking great. Yeah, just how exactly back and forth it really is with. His video's running a little ahead of mine, but just watching this completed, like you guys really don't know how satisfying it is to like you do voice work for something, and then months later you see the finished product. It's sort of like, whoa, you know, like I hardly have memories of recording the voices for this, but when I see them in context, I'm like, hey, I did a pretty solid job. I feel like, you know. here I go. My character, Calvin, is as the inside man, shutting down security, giving Kodak the access. There was so much influence from the heist movies of the time.
Yeah,
And I
this
can.
is definitely this is the second half of the movie.
This is
song.
where the
Yeah,
pace
this is
starts
where it
to
really
pick up.
took a life of its own. Actually, there is one of involving this metal detector later on. There's probably one of the best visual gags in the entire movie within a few minutes.
Here. This is a straight up Matrix reference, right?
All right, gentlemen, we got a major situation on our hands.
I'm not sure.
I love this joke of cock slap you hammerhand. I don't even know where the fuck that came from, but hammerhand, that's just a hilarious thing to say.
Yeah,
to
it's just
another person.
I was just thinking of an Irish name because he's like a redheaded guy. He's like, okay, what name would he have?
I'm gonna cock slap you, hammerhand. I've said that to people in my day since this film has come out. That's definitely a line that I quote as often as I can. Mr. Stabby.
Actually, that was from a 3dmm.com game.
I know it's dangerous. Dangerous weapons in a public place are no laughing matter.
Who did that voice?
I completely forget. It was oh shit! What the fuck? He's probably in the credits somewhere. I just can't remember.
I'm sure he is, whoever it was.
He was a 3MM. He's very small voice part.
That's a funny delivery.
Maybe it was Liam Brocklehurst.
Mm-hmm.
He did a couple voices for the guys in the head too. I can't remember which one it was.
That's it. Everyone ready? Ready.
All right, here we go.
Oh God!
Like I said, this shit still cracks me up after all these years.
Good old Kodak.
What do we do now? We pray. Pressure.
I'm not taking any chance. What about Brenda? Have you been smoking that stuff in the evidence locker again? The last time we gave her a gun, she made us chew her eye out. Don't worry about it, Joe. I'm pretty sure she's cautious this time. It was a water gun. Listen, we're gonna need everyone for this job. You, me, Brenda, that fat guy that appeared sporadically throughout the first movie. What about the canine unit?
The self-referential humor.
Oh God, this dog.
What the fuck is that?
Yes.
Kojo the Killer Canine.
Ooh, looks like a bitch to me. Oh God. Get it, bitch. Female dog, get it. Oh God.
You should have used that as a sting in one of the trailers.
Yeah, maybe. I think the punchline was really the off-screen hit.
Whoa! Oh yeah. I still quote 3DMM default lines from time to time. Be like, I'll trade a magic trick for a vase.
Nice.
Whenever possible, I'll reference 3DMM stuff if it comes to mind.
Dog humping shit fuck bitch on a powder stick new swatter.
I don't remember recording that line.
Sorry.
There's only a handful of lines.
That was quite excessive line, too.
Well, thank you. I don't remember recording a lot of the lines from this. There's a handful I do specifically remember, just sort of sitting at my computer and trying to get it right, but that one I don't remember.
I see. What exactly is your French military defeat section?
Well, due to insufficient funding, it was either that or the history of bestiality.
And you guys wonder why no one ever comes here?
We manage.
There's some of my last lines coming up because. Oh no, I do have the epilogue.
Really? What, Dad? Let's get going. What am I saying?
I don't know. The epilogue's kind of just me thanking people, I think, if that's what I'm thinking of correctly.
No, maybe not. I don't know. The epilogue is sort of this like Fast Times, Animal House style, like where are they now kind of jokey thing.
Trying to think.
And it's like I would assume anybody watching this commentary has seen the movie, but Calvin is like reading a story to kindergartners.
Yeah.
I forget where everyone else is, but yeah, it's just sort of like where everyone is after this happened. This shit introduced me to Tub Girl. I didn't know what Tub Girl was before this. Direct Connect, A fucking Dominator Dan reference.
Yes, exactly. That's the best.
Hilarious. Yeah, that's fucking hysterical.
I forgot about that.
Oh god, that's amazing.
Oh, poor Dan. Also, the best male bathroom sign ever. Like, if this was real, like, real shit. Yes.
Cyber Slut 45.
I think Aaron Haynes actually did this animation. I love this. Yeah, I love that. I thought about that the other day. Where she's just like twirling on the chair, like, alright, whatever. Like, it's completely, like, this is completely, like, non-existent to him. Yep, first movie reference.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Should have had Brenda fuck up the flashback again.
I think they could have made it a little challenging. Oh, wait, the alarm? But, hey, wait up, Calvin. I have to go to the bathroom.
There's a weird story about that. A parent.
Yeah, fuck you. I've gone too far to turn back now.
Alright, here we go. Surprisingly good, like, sound sync.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I'm very...
Despite the fact that they don't get away in the end. Yeah, like they totally take this fucking thing.
That's kind of the whole point. Coming up as one of my like favorite animations that I've done in this entire movie.
So you did everything but the explosion.
Yeah, and that little like quick scene with Kodak, but yeah.
Mhm.
Like basically, yeah, 2 scenes out of this entire movie, I did everything.
It's impressive, my friend.
Yo, motherfucker, they got the jam.
Yeah, it kind of told me a little bit about like how this whole program worked and everything.
Mm. But I think at the same time, like that sort of teaches you how actual animation works
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah, it was very good, and like cinematography, like how to frame everything. Oh, poor Joe.
What the fuck is that doing there?
This right here. Like you gotta admit, back in 2004. Hold on a second. This gag.
I'm lagging a little bit
All right,
behind.
the gag where the metal detector goes off
Ah, yes.
was one of like that. That's probably one of the funniest gags. Well, the whole thing with the helicopter, you got to realize back in 2004, like that was like top of the line shit right there.
hmm Everything, yeah, like that whole the building all in rubble, like that.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
that was Aaron Haynes.
hmm There's a great deal of this that I think is still holds up animation wise.
All right, this scene in particular, I mean, it was amazing. It's one of the pinnacle scenes of the movie. But goddamn, if I have to hear this song one more time, because I listened to this dozens of times while I was trying to sync the sound, and man, it drove me crazy. But I still love it.
Yeah, it's really well put together.
Like this was the one scene I'm like, I need this scene to fit. Yeah, like it's because it has all the flashbacks to the other parts of the movie. It's kind of the reward for watching the entire movie. You get to see like the different parts go together.
hmm There's this sense of suspense as well, where it's like they don't know if they're gonna make it or not.
Exactly.
And yeah, like ultimately they don't make it, but there is this sort of final.
Well, that's just the whole thing. Is like you think like maybe that is the whole part of the movie it's great because they're such scumbags. You're like, all right, are they gonna do it? Is this gonna be like a feel good or whatever, or like what is exactly gonna happen? Like they do this whole thing. Yeah, it's just all the callbacks to the earlier parts of the movie.
Fucking Pakistani cab driver. Martin's not a part of this because he's driving. I was like,
Supposedly.
aren't they missing someone? Sorry for the silence, but this is kind of intense.
Tense ending.
Oh, fucking Vangelis. Vangelis, however the fuck you pronounce it. And yeah, they could have made it. They could have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That
got
was
it.
the whole kind of joke with the movie. You're like, oh, is he gonna fall asleep before he gets to the end? That was my thought. But the whole thing was the oh, and then this is kind of the joke to that joke.
That they just didn't put gas in the ambulance.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand, though. We had enough gas to make it over the border. What happened to the rest of it?
Well, guys, yeah, we only got like 2 feet left.
Well, unless you start pissing gas, I said we run for it.
Shit, get our asses in gear.
What is your business here?
We're probably the only motherfuckers that can try to get into Mexico. I'm surprised how easy it is to get past you guys.
Are you trying to say that we are incompetent? I can safely say that as of this moment, no immigrant has ever crossed this border illegally, and that is a fact.
Freeze, dipshits!
Poor Calvin. Just gets completely taken out.
I hate to do this, but it's our only shot.
Did you get a sighting
So
on the
a
bank?
little more subtle joke here.
Alright, then, round them up and search them. Hey, easy on the merchandise. Shady, Bucky, Pete.
Yo, how was I supposed to know that cop was gay?
It's supposed to be a subtle cavity search reference.
Double crossing.
Choice words.
Haha, very funny, you little nice scumbag. But they locked you up.
No offense to Super Chicken Girl.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean by the Super Chicken Girl voice
I don't
acting.
mean, that's the thing, like, I don't mean any offense to it. Like I said, we were all teenagers when we did this. I'm sure she was probably around that age as well.
Yeah, and she like really had no reference. Like, all right, I'm just doing lines for a movie, so
Mhm.
whatever.
You think I believe that bullshit?
But it's funny to me to listen, especially now, to listen
Because she's
to it.
like subtly British.
Yeah, but she's not, though, right? She's like from the U.S.
She sounds very British, unless I'm mistaken.
I don't think she's British.
I learned a lot about myself. Not only did I fail again, but I've learned that my
But no, my favorite Super Chicken Girl lines come at the end.
I was charged with first-degree theft, breaking and entering, property damage, and theft for some reason
Sodomy.
Hey, listen, he was confused too.
I'm actually proud of myself. Tell the truth. Maybe this fucking change. Maybe it doesn't. First thing that I just have taken. Roll that up with Vince. Put it up about me. Getting that up. Baby's dead. We disappeared up. Let's see. Jesus Christ. Is that you, Shady? I haven't seen you in ages.
God damn it, will people stop with that shit?
Yeah, that's kind of a joke with Shady.
Mom went on to become a porn star under the alias Afro Thunder.
It's a good porno with the sheets on. Oh, Calvin.
You're nine, said. You want a monkey cock son of a bitch?
That That was not recorded on the same microphone as the other lines. You can tell. You can definitely tell. That was a part you got back to me on later, where you were like, "Oh, we're doing an epilogue. I need you to record a few lines for that." And I forget why, but yeah, like it wasn't the same microphone that I recorded the other lines with. It was so long ago. I don't even remember what equipment I had used to do it with. But this is the microphone I use now.
Yeah, I think we finished the movie. I'm like, oh, we need like an ending kind of.
Look at this! Look at this fucking beast. This is the microphone I use now. Yeti Blue.
Nice. What is that?
It's called. The brand is Yeti. The company that makes the microphone is called Yeti, and the model is called Blue.
Nice.
It's pretty good. I use it for podcasting and stuff.
Probably a good thing. After I got out of it, I decided that it was time that I changed my view. You lucky son of a bitch. Time to go. I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, kind of a depressing song to end a movie on, but actually, no, there is another song later. Right now.
This ends with "Pay the Man," right?
Yep.
And that's really what I don't think I ever would have given that song the credit that I do now if I hadn't heard it.
Oh, this song is so good.
I agree. Yeah, it's a fucking awesome song, and especially the way you cut it because it has that really long intro.
The long intro is great too,
It
but
is.
yeah, it definitely works within the framework of the movie.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it really does.
And it kind of works with the theme of the movie. Like, not to sound like this movie really had a theme, but it's like it does lyrically work with the movie.
Oh yeah, I agree with you completely. This is my favorite part of her voice acting, by the way. This is like the worst of the worst, I think, of what she gave you to work with, because it's.
Yeah, well, what was it gonna do with it? Tell her to. Restart.
It's so ridiculous. And it's so scumbaggy. Like, why would she say this to him? Like, I know everything that happened, but like, why try to find him like years later and say these things? Like, it's so bitter and like. Oh god, and yes, her getting hit by the bus is the best. I think that just seals the deal for me, where it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Like, he has no reaction. He's just like, alright, damn.
Shut the fuck up. Like, just stop. You're a dumbass. And I do really like how this ends, I gotta say, where it's like, fuck, it's gonna be kind of hard to find a job. It's going to be even harder to get on welfare. Fuck all this noise.
Throw back to the first movie.
I like it. I like it a lot. I love the way it ends. Because in a way, it could be like an endless loop, with the exception of him getting in the cab and going to the bank.
Yeah, that's true.
Within the first movie, this could be considered like an endless loop of him, in a way, just because you never did a third one. You can look at it in that light.
Oh man, the third one's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I know.
Like, which is see, now it's kind of weird because I thought the fonts from the beginning now were gonna show up in the. Well. Yeah, I'll definitely give you. Yeah, I can definitely give you the script for the third movie. It's.
I guess nothing.
It's definitely something. Yeah, it's something to behold. It's actually really good. Aaron Haynes and I went through. We're on a fourth draft actually. Like we went through multiple drafts of the same movie. It was gonna be a little bit longer than this. And it was a little more intense, and it has a lot more like solid parts to it. Because we were discussing a lot of the faults of this movie, and that as far as like like the And the one thing that was holding us up was there is a love interest in the third movie, but we're just like, how are we gonna really write her in and like that kind of stuff, and like how are we gonna do that whole bit? So it actually kind of worked out that it did get released, but you know, it would have been cool if it actually got like released, or if it actually got made, I should say, because there was a lot of scenes that David Porter, I think. Yeah, David Porter. He was a very short-lived person on 3DMM that did voice acting. That, for some reason, he just like wanted to like go on, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to do this movie," so he like sent me voices.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You
Yeah.
guys
So
never got
pretty
past
much.
like.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Yeah,
Huh.
you see all the inspirations that came.
Snatch. I've still never seen Snatch.
Dude, Snatch is such a good movie.
Yeah, I know. I haven't watched it for some reason. But no, the thing is, like Ocean's 11, I watched, and Usual Suspects, both on your recommendation, I watched and enjoyed the hell out of. More so, Usual Suspects. I think that's one that has stuck with me.
Snatch and both. Actually, the precursor to Snatch is Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Which I've also never seen. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I shouldn't be reviewing movies. Actually, just throwing it out there, I have never seen the first Die Hard until yesterday. So.
Hey, you know what? Listen, there's a lot of movies that I'm like that where
Yeah.
I haven't seen. Like I really haven't seen the movies, and like people, you know, the people do like, oh, you haven't seen this and this. Like, seriously, shut the fuck up. Like,
Right.
yeah, this is in this day and age, but
That's not. Yeah, like.
Definitely watch Snatch. It's like very good. It's a good like kind of gangster movie. It's like a dark comedy, but it's like, yeah, it's definitely worth your while.
Uh-huh.
And Lock, Stock as well is like I said, it's the precursor, where it's the same director, similar characters, and another movie too. It's like it's not really too much of a comedy, but Layer Cake is really good. It's along the same lines.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but yeah, it's kind of like a kind of crime heist movie kind of thing.
Redneck guys. Okay, you got Freebird playing in the credits. What was the motivation behind putting Freebird in the credits?
I'm trying to think. Actually, I really have no explanation behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact that it's a long fucking song, and I wanted to put a lot of credits in there.
Well, for me personally, one of my favorite movies is Ralph Bakshi's American Pop, and that has Freebird in the credits. That film is about the history of rock and roll in a sense, though, so
Nice.
it kind of makes sense to put Freebird in the credits there. But at the same time, I think it's sort of like you're in spirit with that, where it's like Freebird. Actually, you know what though? Fucking Dazed and Confused used Tuesday's Gone in a way to where I feel like, you know, that's a good song to really.
The thing about Tuesday's Gone is really funny, because the only thing that I remember about Tuesday's Gone is the I've heard the Metallica version more than the. Yeah, exactly. I've heard the Metallica
that's
version.
another thing. That's another thing is that you got me onto Metallica, specifically their first like 4 albums.
Oh, they're fucking amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Fucking Justice, I think, is really the one that
Yep.
you really pushed me into liking more than I think I would have.
Yeah, and Justice is really good. I mean, it's a little off. It's a little bit off the beaten track, but it's like it's out of the first 4, it's one of the best. I do ride. I like Ride the Lightning, like better than them, but
Yeah, it is.
oh, shit. Hold on, Digital Taco? Holy fuck, I forgot about him.
Digital Taco.
I completely forgot that I sent this movie to those people.
Russ Steppen and Digital Taco. Get on Mean Bread too, motherfuckers.
Also, I don't know.
Russ isn't going to come back to 3DMM, but, you know. Who's the Shed?
The Shed is.
Hey guys, it's James Quick. works out here. And
Oh, shit, it's me.
Oh, damn.
The shed is... Hold on. I'll speak a little bit after this is over. I'll actually let this run. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening to this. What is this?
But I just decided to do it in person because I feel some of these people deserve a lot more thanks than words would give. First one is Jamin. I can't tell you how thankful I am. I got this kind of a cast. I mean, he was willing to do a whole bunch of voices. He's like half the characters in the movie, but I mean, he did his voice perfectly. He always got him on time, and he was always great support and great help. And I thank him a lot for that. Next is my friend Matt. Not known a lot in the community, but he pretty much got this whole series lifted up off the ground. I mean, he's always been there, pitching ideas and always double checking with me. He even helped with the editing process. I mean, he was always there, and I thank him. I don't know where I would be without him.
I don't think I get any special thanks in these credits, but I don't need any special thanks in these credits
I'm dedicating this
because everyone else that he mentions,
you guys know who you are. Yeah, that's right.
I think they're worth talking about.
Josh, Glenn, Matt, Dan, all you guys over
The
there.
original moderately confused fans, or rather the slightly confused fans. Yeah, I asked you about that.
Yep. The original.
Give me ideas. Ask me about the sequel.
When we did our interview back in 2005, I asked you about these guys, and it's great. It's great that you had support outside of 3DMM because the most.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting because when I first did Slightly Confused, they actually saw it and they loved it and they wanted a sequel. And I don't think they had ever really seen Moderately Confused. Actually, I'm trying to think right back now if I don't even think if I remember showing them Moderately Confused, but they definitely were asking for it. And the last time I talked to them, I don't think they had ever seen it, so I actually want to show it to them.
You should, because when we did that interview back in the day, you had mentioned that you were planning on showing it to them.
Yeah, like it was kind of weird. Like they had a bunch of people that like this little like shitty program, and like they loved the movie. They loved Slightly Confused. I don't know what they loved about it, but I mean, I'm glad they did. But I'm trying to remember they were like, oh, let's watch this movie, like do this kind of stuff. But oh. And I think I'm off soon. Alright, so basically the shed was all the people that I had mentioned before that love Slightly Confused. They built this shed out in this place called The Woods. The Woods is like right behind one of my friends' house. So they built this. They actually bought a shed from like fucking Home Depot or something. It was completely ridiculous when they did it. They bought a shed. They put it all the way out in the woods, like a couple 100 yards into the woods. They built it. It was a whole full shed with like flooring and everything, and like it was just there to hang out. We had couches there. You could fucking drink there, do whatever. I mean, it was like completely ridiculous. Like it was just this metal shed. And then one day, some asshole came in and actually burned the shed down. So it was a complete trash heap after that. Yeah, it was completely nuts. So that's why.
Whoa! Do you remember? I burnt down the woods back in the day?
Yeah, I think I do remember that a little bit.
That was like a shed kind of place. It was like these dudes. It was like my brother and his friends built this tarp up. Like they put this tarp on some branches, and that was their shed. And me and a buddy kind of in this pyromaniac rage burn it down. Back in the day, we were like 14, 15 years old, you know, so it was probably like some angsty shit, like let's burn this down or something. Like, yeah. I don't know. It wasn't, you know, that's not who I am now, obviously, but back then, you know, I had a bit of pyromania in my teenage years.
It's all good.
So I burnt this shit down. I get it. It was probably some dipshit kids that fucked your shit up is what I'm getting at.
So what you're saying is that you burned our shed down?
In a way, maybe. Yeah.
No, I'm actually trying to go through too to see who else. Who did the? I'm trying to think who I did the memories too, because there was one of them was Margaret Shelley, that was my grandmother,
Mhm.
and Charlie, who unfortunately he had a very bad case of like MS.
And we're not talking about Charlie Widmeyer, tuna hematoma.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, it's all the people that I mentioned in here. It's people that I know personally.
Was Tuna involved in Moderately Confused at
He
all?
was not actually.
Yeah, that's kind of unprecedented.
Actually, the only thing that I dealt with Tuna with was Henry and Skelly. The lady.
I love Tuna, and you love Tuna. Like
Yeah, Tuna's great.
everybody loves Tuna. Again, if you don't know what 3DMM is, you're not gonna have the slightest clue what we're talking about. But everybody loves Tuna.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking at it in loving memory of Joe. I can't remember who he. This is gonna sound really bad. I don't remember who Joe Mullen was. So, rest in peace.
Yeah, I don't. That's crazy.
And Charlie, yeah, Charlie was. He had multiple sclerosis, and unfortunately, he died. Probably like mercifully because, like, I mean, I couldn't imagine living in his situation. He was in a wheelchair this whole time. Like, he was multiple sclerosis. Like, it was just very bad. I mean, he was a nice kid and everything, but like, I couldn't imagine living like that. So.
Had he seen had he seen Slightly Confused?
No. This is just people that I know in my life. So
Well,
it was just kind of a shout out to them. Like, obviously, like, I had my grandmother there. I mean,
Mhm.
my grandmother was, she was unfortunately, yeah, she had emphysema for a couple of years, and then she just succumbed to it, and it was just like one of those things. I remember who Joe Mullen was. I'm actually going to research a little bit because that was obviously made an impact on me. It's for some reason to put him in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but man, well, actually, watching this movie again, it's kind of funny because really haven't seen it in a long time. Actually,
I can't remember the last time. Maybe around the time that Supercat 99 put this up on YouTube, I probably watched it because I was showing it to a few different people, and I was like, hey, I voice acted in this full length film a while back. Check it out if you want. And I think probably around that time I was watching a lot of stuff that Supercat was uploading, like 5DMM and Sergeant Steve and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Sergeant Steve, I think still holds up. Like, if you just wanted to blind show somebody a 3DMM movie, I think like Sergeant Steve would be the one.
Anything Jason, really, because
actually, I love the Jason show. Like, holy shit,
the Jason show. Johnny Samsonite was one of the first 3DMM movies I ever saw.
That's a little bit off the wall, but if you want to really get him hooked, I would say you either show them the Jason Show episode 1, or you show them Sergeant Steve. Johnny Samsonite can like keep them on, like you're like, okay, this is pretty funny, but I don't think that would really hook them.
Johnny Samsonite was amazing to me the first time I saw it, just because of how, like, it was all about the writing. Like, he just used default backgrounds and like
everything.
It was so lazy, but the writing was there, It's like Johnny Samsonite. I forget, like somebody calls him out in the first scene of the movie. Like the teacher is like, "Shut your fucking mouth" or something. Like, I don't know, but it's funny.
Yeah, so definitely definitely still some of those. But man, so.
All right.
Yep.
Well, yeah. We should probably close up the broadcast here. Thank you. If anybody from 3dmm.com is watching this, huge shout out, huge props. Check out movieboozer.com if you'd like. It's a movie review website that adds drinking games to the movies. That's something I work with, and I work on their podcast, but and that's the YouTube account that I uploaded this on. But I'd like to thank James for kind of randomly hitting me up to do this because, this was a lot of fun. and we haven't spoken in a while, and
Yeah.
we haven't talked about this specifically in ages. So it's just been nice to sit here and reminisce about the old days. You got any closing thoughts you want to add?
No, it's very unfortunate I never got to finish. Wholly Confused. That was a big idea that I had at the time that I thought I was going to go towards. I mean, we made like sets, and where I was going to like we had the script. The script was down like to a point where this was going to be the thing we were going to go and like close out with, and unfortunately, it just never came to fruition. But I will release the script at some point, and I mean, I hope people enjoy it. But it's just kind of unfortunate that it has to kind of die there, and it didn't go on to be. Like
I've always there was a period like a few years ago where I was like I want to do. I had given it some thought where it was like I did 3DMM Evil.
Yeah.
And as well, like I had my time on the boards, and I pulled my shenanigans on the boards, specifically with me getting arrested, and that whole blow up. But the whole thing is like I gave thought to like, should I try to do a 3DMM Evil movie where it's like sort of this introspective thing? I wanted to basically do a big culmination of the community of like, let's look back and appreciate this and that and address things that never got completed, like Wholly Confused or Power Play 2 or Valerian 2. I just wanted to sort of, and it was sort of this ambitious thing, this idea that I had, where it's like I wanted to go over everything. You know what I mean? And I felt like the stuff I had established with 3DM Evil was a good sort of jumping off point to go through that. Like I said, I think if somebody out there, and it may not be myself or James, but if somebody were to make a final sort of like really well done 3DMM movie that they put a lot of effort into, I think like there's, even if like obviously it's not going to make you any money, it's not going to get you any credibility outside of the 3DMM community, but it would still be, if somebody did that, it would be like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like if we were to sit down and watch it, there would, like kind of like you guys did with McZ, like the McZ documentary was sort of this last big project that came out, and everybody watched it, and we were like, holy fuck, you know, like, in a way, it sort of inspired everyone.
Yeah.
And
it's just like, this is the last, like, this is what we're going to see.
If somebody were to really try to do it now, like, I think it would blow people's minds, in a way. Like, if you or I or Tuna or Goro or Aaron were to watch something where it's like they put a lot of effort into it, and it wasn't like, because like what, I haven't been to the boards in a while, but the last time I was at the boards, all the new releases were just like little short jokey things where,
yeah, that's pretty much what it is now.
Right. But that's what I'm saying, like if it was some big project that somebody put a lot of effort into, it would blow our fucking minds, because it's like, you didn't do this. You just did this because you're passionate about it, you know?
No, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I admire the effort. I know you admire the effort.
Yeah.
I do too. But that's the thing, is that you almost don't want to do it because you're like, well, who else is going to think the same way? Like, I mean, it's not like, it's not to do the project to get the reward, but it's almost like one of those things.
Well, at this point, there is no reward.
There really is no reward. So
back in the day, back when we were doing this, back when we were doing this stuff, like you could say there was some sort of reward to it.
Oh, there was a total, like there was. I mean, come on, we had like fucking movie awards and shit every year. Where like there was things you were competing against, and it was phenomenal. Like, but now it's not that way. Like, if me and Bree decided to do that, like 3D movie maker murder movie mystery
Right.
movie, I mean, that would be great. But would it be worth it?
I think, well, that's the thing, is like it depends on how worth it is to you, because at this point in time, like, we do have the capabilities, we do still have the program, we do still have.
We can do it, but like, do you want to spend that time? Do you want to sit down as an individual and like sleep your ass off every day?
I think it's time for a renaissance. It's time.
Oh shit!
I think it's time. I think it's time.
Oh man. Well.
I haven't even been on the boards in months.
You know what? I will send you the script. I will send you the script for Wholly Confused.
I'm totally interested in checking that out. But really, like what we're talking about here with the whole, like, you know, one last big project and that whole thing. It's just sort of like back when 2004, 2005, when he was doing Moderately Confused and I was doing my show, like, there was this sort of passion to not just for recognition, not just because the community was at its peak and they were doing awards and people were reviewing everything that came out and that sort of thing. Like, there was a sort of drive to create your own identity and do your own thing through movie making with 3D Movie Maker, and I can't credit it enough for, like, you know, really expanding my horizons personally as somebody that just consumes entertainment and everything. Like that's really kind of set me on a different path. And yeah.
All right.
Awkward pause, but okay. I guess this is a good time to close it up. So I'm gonna cut off the broadcast here. Thank you for checking this video out. 3dmm.com, movieboozer.com. James, do you have any personal shit to promote? Do you have a Twitter account or anything like that?
Nah, I'm good here.
All right. Well, the movie we watched, the movie we covered, Moderately Confused, it can be found on Supacat, SUPACAT 99, that YouTube account, Moderately Confused, as well as tons of other great 3DMM stuff that was released throughout the years, really, because he's covered the whole fucking gamut of stuff that's been released. But yeah, check out his YouTube account because he's doing great work by keeping that stuff up, I think. And have a good night.